ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Dean College Lunch Rush. I'm Grant Flood. Alongside me today, Liam Geller, Matthew Gendron, and Brady Fontaine, and we will be talking about Dean College Dining Hall. We'll be talking about Boomers, and we have a very special guest later on, Brendan Jennings. He is one of the cashiers at Boomers, and he will be talking about his experiences along with his inside information on the dining hall and the dining service here at Dean College. Again, we want to welcome you aboard tonight as we are going to get right into it. Brady, we'll start off with you. This is, I believe, your freshman year, correct?
Yes.
And the dining hall has changed over a couple of different companies over the year. This is the first year with their new company. And I guess as a freshman, how has the dining hall been for you? Has it been what you've expected, or is it above average, below average? What do you think?
I think it's kind of exceeded my expectations, honestly. And I know that's true for a lot of other freshmen I've talked to. A lot of my friends have said it's exceeded their expectations, and they didn't expect too much considering it's college campus dining hall food and it's school food. They didn't expect much coming from like having high school food that wasn't super great. I think expectations were low, and they kind of outdid expectations that a lot of the freshmen had coming in. And then even the staff too has been terrific. Like staff takes the time to get to know everybody, wants to know people. It's a great atmosphere within there, and then the food's usually pretty good as well too. So,
well, I'm glad to get your input, and I 100% agree. The dining hall staff, not even close to the issue here. Everyone, warm regards entering either the dining hall or Boomers. Liam, what do you got?
To be honest, I agree with dining hall staff, best people ever. One of the workers down at Boomers, Will, one of my favorite people on this planet. He just brightens my day every time I walk down to Boomers. Just makes it a good environment. But the food, on the other hand, at least in the dining hall, I know Boomers is its own other thing. In the dining hall, it's the only word I can describe is mediocre. I feel like I had more choices in high school than I do here at college. Plus the hours, I'm not hungry by the time the dining hall closes. The dining hall closes at like 6:30 on weekends, 7 on weekdays. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I feel like just overall dining hall hours needs to fix. So, like, I could deal with the food, like, because you can make your own food at the end of the day in the back corner, which is always a good option. But at the end of the day, those hours are killer for everyone.
Yeah, I agree. Like I know me and my roommate are constantly like losing track of time, and the next thing we know, it'll be like 7:40, and we'll realize, oh crap, we didn't go to the dining hall, and now if we want to get dinner, we have to go to Boomers, and it's just like a whole thing. Like sometimes you have to like specifically plan it out to make sure that you can get to the dining hall on time, because also with Boomers, like personally, I love Boomers. It's like I love going there, hanging out with friends, watching the games on the TV. The food I personally think is great. I love the food, but we only get 3 meal swipes a week. So once you use those up, if you use them up early in the week, like I know this week for me, I've already used 2 of mine, so I gotta make sure that I'm thinking about it. But it's you gotta be like really conscious about it and make sure that you're planning your time out well, or you might not get to eat at night and you fall asleep hungry, which is never good.
The big debate with the meal swipes is, so you get 3 a week, right? But the big gripe I've heard other students say is that they prefer if there was 4. And again, we're going to have our own little separate discussion about dining hall hours and what we think it should be in a matter of moments. But I understand the complaint in wanting at least 4 meal swipes, because when the weekend rolls around, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday night even, that's, for example, if you're going to use a meal swipe on Sunday night, that's already one meal swipe of your week that's already gone. And why is that the case sometimes? Because the dining hall closes at 6:30, and I know for me the 6:30, the 7:30 on weeknights, it's not spectacular, but I can at least manage with that. The 6:30 on weekends is my biggest gripe.
Yeah, especially like since you want to go out, enjoy your day out on a weekend. You want like for me at least, I'm not usually on campus on weekends. I'm usually out with friends doing something. But at the end of the day, like when I come back on at night to campus, I'm not back by 6:30. There's still light out. We're in almost in May now. Like we're the more light we have. Like I feel like my schedule for eating goes with the schedule of the sun. If it's light out, I don't really want to eat dinner at when there's light out. Like when there's still time to do stuff outside. Like I want dinner to be one of the last things I do in the day. Dinner, shower, chill out in my room or chill out with friends. I feel like that's the best way to do it right there. But like, just like I felt better about the dining hall closing so early in the winter, but now it's just a pain in the neck.
That's fair. Well, Brady, do you have any last thoughts before we hit break real quick?
I mean, the only thing I was going to add to on what Liam said earlier is that like the options in the dining hall very limited. Like for college cafeteria food, it's not too shabby. Like it could be a whole lot worse, but I mean, just options for like actual full meals that are gonna like fill your plate and fill you up are very limited. So I think if you had more options there, you'd attract more people.
I also want to point out that there's not really many healthy options at the dining hall either.
Yes,
a lot of burgers,
big.
a lot of pizza, and you get that daily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up this portion of Dean College Lunch Rush. When we come back, we will be giving our personal hours on what we think the dining hall should look like. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Dean College Lunch Rush. I am your host, Grant Flood, along with Brady, Liam, and Matt. We are now on to the portion of the program where we will be giving what we think the dining hall hours should look like. We've already expressed how the 6:30s on weekends can be very troubling and how even sometimes 7:30 is just not late enough to close the dining hall. I can speak from personal experience calling Dean College sports games in the Peary Gymnasium, or at Grant Field or Longley Athletic Complex. I mean, that covering games late at night is certainly one way to burn through your boomer bucks throughout the week, and it can certainly be a difficult challenge. So for me personally, I'm going to say on the weekends, the dining hall should be closing at around 8:30, and on weeknights, somewhere in the ballpark of 9 to 9:30.
Yeah, I agree on that. I know other schools like Bridgewater and Curry, their dining halls close around 9 o'clock all week, which I feel like that's a solid time to go based off of. I know, and then again, most schools don't have boomers, but at the same time, boomers doesn't have many options for their meal swipes either. I like how they've been doing recently the meal swipe of the week, where they're actually giving us a new option every week. But yeah, I feel like my dream scenario, the dining hall should have more healthy options, more variety. I feel like the more variety just to make it better. I swear I eat pizza. I probably had at least 500 pieces of pizza just being on campus this year.
Pizza and fries.
That's our go-to. Yeah.
I jumping off Liam, like I kind of agree. I think like 9, or like honestly even like if you want to close it earlier on the weekend, 8:30, just like it's just those few hours are so crucial, because like Liam said, like on weekends he likes to go out and do things with this. I know a lot of people like doing that. Like sometimes on the weekends, I feel like one of the reasons they close an hour sooner is because there's less people on campus, there's less people here. But I feel like that's also just like at a disadvantage for the people who actually stay here. Like I think like 9, 8:30, 8 at the absolute earliest is just like a perfect spot. But
Yeah, I mean, hitting back on what Grant said too. Like, you're covering those broadcasts. Depending on what time those games are starting, if you're down at Longley for softball or baseball, or you're in Pierre for volleyball, or something like that. I mean, those games are going to end at like 7 something or like 8 o'clock. Dining hall is closed. You're burning through your meal swipes quick, depending on how many broadcasts you're on during a given week. And then what Liam says too, for healthy options, I mean, like the only healthy option you got in there is really a salad bar. And I mean, who wants to eat a salad every single day of the week? That gets boring really quick.
Yeah, especially with the meal swipes primarily being the chicken tenders. You can get a chicken sandwich. I know they've been adding, some other items to the menu, but nothing really that jaw-dropping or really that filling, I feel.
Yeah, no, they had think winter semester, first semester they had quesadillas on there, and then I think they
Hmm.
kind of got rid of. I think they either got rid of them or they're not doing them anymore in Boomers for the meal exchange on that menu, because I haven't seen them on the menu in a while. And when they've been on there, it's just the meal exchange deal of the week type category that they're under. But I mean, I know a lot of people really like those in that. And then there was you could pay too if you wanted to add like chicken to the quesadillas too. And I know a lot of students were doing that in the first semester. A lot of freshmen were doing that. They were putting chicken in it, and they were doing barbecue chicken quesadillas or something like that. So even just something like that, or you put chicken and bacon in there too. You put ranch in there, you get chicken bacon ranch quesadilla. You could put as one of your meal exchange
Hmm.
offers for Boomers.
Well, Liam and Matt, any last thoughts before we shoot it over to break?
Yeah,
We covered a lot.
yeah, covered a lot. I just can't wait to find the inside scoop.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you won't have to wait much longer. In a matter of moments, Brendan Jennings, one of our cashiers down at Boomers, he will be joining the show. Stay tuned right here on the Dean College Lunch Rush. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dean College Lunch Rush. And with us, Mr. Brendan Jennings, one of our busy cashiers down at Boomers. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and answering some questions about Boomers in the dining hall.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Liam, I know you are dying to ask your question first, so shoot, my man.
Brandon, thank you for coming on. I'm getting right to down and dirty. Just run us through your day as a cashier. Like, what do you, like? I want to know like your side of it, like what you do day to day.
Well, my duties as a cashier are pretty simple. I just take care of the orders. Occasionally I'll assemble food, but I really don't do that too much. Our numbering system was broken for a while, so I would take orders and write down the names. But recently it's been fixed, and that makes work at Boomers a whole lot easier for a cashier, because all you just have to do is tell the people their number, and no names, no name system going on anymore because that's been fixed. But yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And restocking the drinks every now and then because those run out, and helping out with occasional manual labor type stuff like carrying boxes, taking out the trash, but not too much.
Now, I know you're a student here as well. I want your opinion on the dining hall. What do we think about that? Do we know? Like, I know a lot of people don't like the hours. I want to know your opinion on everything.
My main thing with a dining hall is that it's good. It can be very good, but sometimes they'll just have dishes that are a little they're a little interesting. They're like some different kind of foods that I've never really heard before. And
Even tonight, they had like what, pasta and shrimp or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah,
That
they
was
had
pretty
shrimp
neat.
scampi tonight.
Yeah,
and it wasn't, shrimp scampi you some like fancy, it's not a simple like dish to make. So, I wish they would stick with their like turkey and ham more often, because when they serve that, it's really good. It's just simple herb roasted turkey, nothing fancy, and it tastes really good.
Yeah, I mean, even even hitting on that too, like they've had chicken parm in a winter like semester. Even like the dishes like that were really good when they made their chicken parm. I mean, for college dining hall chicken parm, it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, jumping back to like Boomers, like what's the whole like environment there with like everybody who works there? Like what's that about? Like how do you feel about that? Do you enjoy it? Do you wish there was like something better? Is it like hard? Is it easy? Like what are your opinions on that?
Well, I worked there mainly. I worked when I was really working there a lot because I don't work as I haven't been working as much there this semester, but when I was really working there last semester, the naming system was the toughest part, and it would make the rush very, very tedious because you'd have to take an order and then go write down a name, and take an order and go write down a name, and God forbid you forget a name, and like that it kind of messes up the whole rhythm of things, and then you're pausing, taking orders, and you're trying to think who that ticket belonged to. So it could get very stressful, but lately it's been the fact that they brought the numbering system back, it's been very easy. It's been very chill. It's not too the rush is much more manageable because we have that system back.
Yeah, I know. I got my name mixed up a few times and all that, and I think the numbering system also puts more like it's like you have to listen for your number. It's not like on you guys to like make sure that you're getting the names right or anything like that. It's like if you don't hear your number, it's like, oh well, that's like your fault. It's not our fault, not your guys' fault. But
And
Yeah.
I want to jump. I know you said you haven't been working there much this semester, but this semester they just implicated the new meal exchange of the week. What's your opinions on that? I know some of the food I wasn't expecting to see on there, like the taco, the pineapple teriyaki chicken taco.
I actually, it's funny you asked that because I actually think it's a really cool idea. The only downside of that, the only part I don't like about it is that they took the cheese quesadilla off because I love the cheese quesadilla, and I think it's one of their best things. And the fact that it's now only once a week on a meal swipe for certain weeks of the semester, I don't really like that too much. But I like the fact that they're trying to have more things like the hot dogs. That's a nice touch, and the grilled cheese. That's also a nice touch as well. I like those two items. I haven't really the tacos. I haven't really they haven't really caught my eye to be honest. But I do wish that I do think it's a really cool idea. But I do wish that they they'd keep the cheese quesadilla on there permanently.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. I got one last question for you. Why would you suggest Boomers to someone who is looking for an on-campus internship?
Well, I mean, it's paid, and
That counts.
It does pay well, and it's also a great way to get to know everyone on campus. I now know people who I've never seen before, and I'm a junior. I've seen people, maybe they're freshmen, but I've seen people that I've quite literally never seen before in my entire time being here. So you get to see all your friends and you get to meet new people. So that makes it pretty fun.
Well, Brendan, thank you so much for joining Dean College Lunch Rush and giving your input on how working at Boomers is like and how we get a little scoop on potential meals of the week in the future, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining, again, the Dean College Lunch Rush. I am Grant Flood, along with Brady Fontaine, Liam Geller, and Matthew Gendron. We will say good night from the campus of Dean College. Thank you for listening.